the silent reason your own skull hides true north from you. And in February 2019, the magnetic pole was moving so fast that the US military had to rush an emergency update to the entire world's navigation system, months ahead of schedule, because your phone's compass was about to be wrong by hundreds of miles. Right now, behind your nose, wedged into a thin plate of bone called the ethmoid, there's a cluster of magnetite crystals. Iron. Magnetic iron inside your head right now as you watch this. Scientists found it decades ago and mostly shrugged. Meanwhile, underneath everyone's feet, the true magnetic North Pole had started sprinting. For centuries, it barely moved. Then, starting in the 1990s, it broke into a run, tearing away from northern Canada towards Siberia at a pace nobody predicted and nobody could explain. For most of recorded history, magnetic north crept along at 9 kilometers a year, slow enough that maps stayed accurate for a decade at a time. Then it doubled. Then it tripled. By 2019, it was covering more than 50 kilometers a year, and the official model every GPS, every ship, every commercial jet depends on, recalculated once every 5 years, fell dangerously behind. The error margin blew past acceptable limits in high-latitude regions months before anyone patched it. And here's the part they don't put in the headlines. While the planet's compass was breaking, a piece of you already had one, sitting quietly behind your face, and nobody could tell you why. Because this isn't unique to humans. Homing pigeons carry magnetite in their beaks and skulls and can navigate home blind, across 1,000 kilometers of unfamiliar terrain, using nothing but the planet's field as a map. Sea turtles imprint on the exact magnetic signature of the beach where they hatch and return to that same coastline decades later, across an entire ocean, with no landmarks at all. This is called magnetorception, and it's been proven, replicated, confirmed in species after species. Then in 2019, researchers at Caltech sealed human volunteers inside a Faraday cage, flipped a controlled magnetic field around their heads, and watched their brainwaves. Within a fraction of a second, alpha waves shifted, a measurable, repeatable neural response to the change in direction. Not one subject could consciously say which way the field had turned. Their brains answered a question their minds were never asked. So somewhere between the crystal in your skull and the thoughts you're aware of, a signal is getting lost, or blocked, or simply never delivered. That's the same crystal, remember, the one behind your nose that's been there this entire time, reacting to a field now moving faster than it has in recorded history. And the acceleration isn't cosmetic, it's a symptom. Earth's magnetic field is generated nearly 2,000 miles beneath you by churning liquid iron in the outer core, and that churn is not steady. In parts of the South Atlantic, the field has already weakened by roughly 9% since satellite tracking began, an area scientists now call the South Atlantic anomaly, where satellites passing overhead have to power down instruments to survive a spike in radiation leaking through the thinning shield. Field reversals, full flips of north and south, have happened roughly every 200 to 300,000 years throughout Earth's history. The last one was 780,000 years ago. We are overdue, and nobody agrees on what overdue even means at planetary timescales. What we do know is that a weakening, wandering field lets in more cosmic radiation, scrambles the internal compasses of migratory species across the globe, and forces the humans tracking it to keep issuing emergency corrections just to keep the digital world pointed the right direction. Which brings it back to you, sitting there with magnetite in your skull that has never once given you a conscious readout. If pigeons use theirs to fly home, and turtles use theirs to find one exact beach across an ocean, what was yours built for? And did it ever actually stop working, or did it just stop reporting to you? Some researchers now suspect the human sense didn't vanish so much as go quiet, still firing, still measuring, locked behind a door nobody's found the key to. As the field above you keeps shifting faster than institutions can patch their maps, that question stops being academic. So if the crystal in your head is still listening, still reacting in fractions of a second to a field none of us can consciously feel, what has it been telling you this whole time that never made it through?